So occasionally I'll see comments saying that the majority of money saving tips out there don't really apply to people who have a low income because they assume that there's more room to reduce spending. So here are some frugal hacks that I believe will work for everyone, including people who've already cut back as far as they can. The first is to shop the lost and found. Now, I've never purposely tried this before, and up until a year ago, I didn't even know it was a thing. But I saw this article of this guy explaining how he would get free items by shopping the lost and found at hospitals and libraries and other places. So he would go inside, speak to someone at the front desk, and ask, "Do you have any unclaimed items in your lost and found that I can take off your hands?" Apparently, once items go unclaimed for a certain amount of time, the staff will either throw them out or donate them. So by doing this, he was able to get several items that were still in good condition. And we're talking umbrellas, sweaters, jackets, tumblers, and even small coolers. And like I said, this is something that I've never thought about intentionally doing, but it does make sense. And this reminds me of an experience that I had years ago at an old nail salon I used to go to. As I was leaving, it started to rain. So at first, I was gonna just wait it out a few minutes to see if the rain calmed down, because I had also just gotten my hair done. But then the nail tech was like, "Well, if you want, there's several umbrellas behind the counter, you can just take one." And I was like, "Okay, perfect. Next time I'm in, I'll bring it back." But he was like, "No, don't worry about it. It's been here for a while. Someone left it. It's just taking up space." So I was able to get a free decent umbrella just for being in the right place at the right time. So if he was willing to give away something so easily in that situation, I'm sure it can work in others. Now, I don't have all the details, so I don't know how long a company will wait before an unclaimed item becomes a freebie, but you have nothing to lose by asking, and you might find something that you can use. Another thing I've heard about, but I also haven't tried, is writing to companies and asking them for free stuff. So years ago, my mother told me about a coworker she had who would write to food companies and complain about different things. For example, if she bought a can of mixed vegetables and the can had too many carrots and not enough green beans, she would complain to the company, and in exchange, they would send her free replacements. And if I remember correctly, she also did this for non-food items as well. And more recently, I saw a post about a guy who sent emails and letters to 100 different companies outrightly asking for free stuff. And while some didn't bite, others did. And from the companies that did respond, he received free samples of different products as well as coupons for free items. Now, granted, this can probably be very time consuming, but if you're sitting around not doing anything, come up with a letter and then maybe 1 hour a week, research email addresses and physical addresses and send out a few. Keep in mind too that you don't only have to write to companies to get free items. Sometimes you can score freebies from people in your community. About 7 years ago, I had to get rid of a box frame pretty quickly, and I really didn't feel like going through the hassle of a sale. So I listed it on Craigslist for free, and I was surprised by the number of other people who were also willing to give away items just to get rid of them. There were desks, dressers, couches, pots and pans, you name it, and there was at least one freebie. So if you haven't already, periodically comb through the free section of Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, and Craigslist. In addition, be proactive. So if there's something specific that you need, post an ad yourself to see if there's someone who's willing to let it go for free. If you're single, you can also become a professional house sitter. Now, this is a very unique tip, so obviously it will not work for everyone. However, if you're single and you're looking for a way to significantly reduce your monthly expenses, you might look into becoming a professional house sitter. Now, depending on where you live, this might not even be an option, but it could be one if you live near a big city or a heavily populated area. So basically, if someone goes out of town for an extended period of time, they might prefer not to leave their house completely unattended, especially if they have pets. So what they'll do is hire someone to stay in the house while they're gone. Now, these agreements vary, so you might get paid a little something as well, but from what I saw, it's pretty cut and dry. You get a free place to stay and they get a house sitter. Keep in mind too that as a professional house sitter, ideally you want to have jobs lined up back to back. But of course, life never goes perfectly. So in the event that there is a gap between one job and the next, make sure you have a backup plan. Maybe a friend or a family member who will allow you to crash at their place for a few days until your next job starts. You can also sign up for mystery shopping and eat free at restaurants. If you have a lower income, you might not be able to go out to restaurants as much, which might not be a problem if you enjoy eating at home. But if you like going out and don't want to completely give it up, another option is to become a mystery shopper. These are basically people who are assigned to go into different establishments, observe the surroundings, and then complete a survey about their experience. I used to do this back in the early 2000s, and it was by far one of the easiest ways to earn extra money. The company that I was with at the time, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they mostly had restaurant assignments. So I would log into my account, pick the restaurants I wanted to shop, and then go there for dinner. And once inside, I would observe everything, such as the wait time, the food quality, the friendliness of staff, the cleanliness, etc. And you can preview the survey before going, so you'll know specifically what to look for. And the best part is that the company would pay me like $20 to do the shop, and it took less than an hour, and they would reimburse my food costs. You can also go to estate sales. So I went to my first estate sale about 10 years ago, and I really didn't know what to expect, but we saw the signs along the side of the road and decided to check it out. And it was like an upper middle class neighborhood. So walking into it, I assumed that most of the items would be pricey. But let me tell you, I have never been more wrong, because even though these people had some obviously quality items, the prices were beyond reasonable. Now, there was a lot of furniture which I wasn't in the market for at the time, but I did get this set of bowls, which I still use to this day. It was like $4 for a set of 4, yet the quality was much better than what I would have gotten at the dollar store. But the biggest win was the vase that I bought for like $15. Now, I don't know vases, but one thing I do know is that this is not a $15 vase. So if you're driving around and you see signs for an estate sale, pop in for a few minutes, because you might find exactly what you're looking for at a good price. You can also re-dye faded clothes instead of replacing them. Clothes are not cheap, and after a few washes, certain colors can start to look dull. Now, personally, once something loses its color, I don't really want to wear it anymore, and I'm ready to replace it. But one trick that you can do to extend the life of your clothes and save money is to get a box of fabric dye and freshen up the color. This is perfect for faded items that are still in good condition otherwise. You can usually buy a box for under $4 or $5, which is a small price to pay if you're able to get a few more years out of your garments. And finally, don't buy anything online without first searching for a promo code. I've done this more times than I can count, and almost every time I will find a code that I can apply at checkout. Even if you're only able to get 10% or 15% off of your order, or maybe free shipping, that is money that you don't have to pay, and you can apply it to other things. And it literally takes 30 seconds. But to make things easier, you can also download a free cashback browser extension. One option is Sprout Rewards, which will find and automatically apply the best coupons when you're checking out. Just shop as normal, click to activate the cashback, and you'll get paid through PayPal. And this isn't sponsored, but if you're interested, I will include a link in the description. You can check it out and download it for free if it makes sense for you.